Hey, it's Thursday night, and we're here at Circuit World in East Ellijay. This is Thursday night, means it's time, 7 o'clock, for Bobcats Beyond the Field. We want to thank Shane's Rib Shack for providing the meal, Pepsi for providing drinks for the players and the coach. I'm happy to have with us tonight head coach of the Gilmer County Bobcats, Zach Grage, and we have four players with us tonight. We have Austin Lacy, Nathan Fitzgerald. They'll be in our second segment tonight, but we're happy to have Ryan Crump and Griffin Cagle with us in our first segment. Guys, welcome. We appreciate you being here. Coach, let's start with you. Now, a lot of people know you, but we use this platform for people that haven't met you. Tell us a little bit about being in Gilmer County. Got a couple games under your belt, new head coach. What's it like? So tell us a little bit.
So far, it's great. Community's awesome. Start with them. Players are fantastic. I couldn't ask for anybody better. They work real hard and coming in with new staff, new scheme, new everything. The way we do anything from walking in the field house to trying to warm up for ball games is brand new. So I have no qualms about that. My family's adjusting really well, and that's something that was important to us. That's one of the reasons that we moved up here. That wife and 3 little boys now. That they're able. I know Noah's in pre-K, and my 2-year-old Daniel's doing some Mother's Day out type deal, and then Luke's just kind of keeping Mama occupied. But as far as the football goes, the school, the administration, I couldn't really draw out a better plan, and I'm loving it so far.
Well, I want to give a shout out to your wife for taking care of the football team at home.
Absolutely.
I see some of the pictures, and I will say this. She makes sure they have their Bobcat gear on, and that I do know. So welcome to the community. Glad to have you. Guys, here's what I heard. I heard new 3 or 4 times, new scheme, new plays, new program. Tell us a little bit about this year and buying into what Coach is working with and the scheme on the field. Both of you, talk about that a little.
Well, offensively, it's just like learning all of the new plays and just like signs for everything. I think that mostly we are getting the hang of it, but we still got some learning to do.
And you?
I think it's a lot more up-tempo than last year. And that's what we need, but we still got a lot to learn. We're still working on it.
Both of you are on offense. Talk a little bit about practice this week and some of the things in the 2 weeks. You got 2 games under your belt on offense. Oh, you're not on offense. You're a middle linebacker?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. You're on offense.
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about offense in the last couple weeks that you have seen that you guys are working on making some of the adjustments.
Right now it's the quarterback situation. I think that's really hurting us. Other than that, it's just learning everything and just like up tempo, just stuff like that mainly.
Coach, two games in, they're non-region. I always say when you get to region play, it's 0-0. So you got 2 games in. Talk about some of the scenarios you've seen in the first 2 games that you've got film on that you're working on. We're going to talk a little more because I've got Lacy here in the second segment about defense. Mm-hmm. But on offense, what are some of the things that you've seen in scenarios for the last 2 weeks that you're working on?
We're trying to work on our kids' football knowledge is the biggest part. We can talk about a blocking scheme and we say, all right, you've got the first backer in the box, and then we find out that a kid can tell you, I've got the first backer in the box, but he might not be able to show you who that actually is. Another situation is just situational football. 3rd and short is going to be different than 1st and 10. Where the ball is on the field, red zone, is going to be different than if we have the ball on our own 20. Right now our kids are just kind of used to running plays, and we're trying to instill the idea that we have to go finish drives, we have to go start drives, we have to start hot. Another thing that's hurt us a lot actually in the first 2 games is, we build ourselves on being a second half team, well conditioned. The strength aspect of it is my baby. That's something that we really preach about. But I think the kids almost bought into it a little bit too much that they can just kind of play maybe an 80% that first half and then know, okay, we're going to come out in the second half. But we've tried to tell them it's okay to go out and beat somebody in the first half and then know that you're going to go out and still maintain or increase that lead in the second half instead of putting ourselves in a hole and then having to come back and say, okay, now we go to work. So trying to tell the kids about situation, learning the game offensively and defensively. We've done a great job this week, coaching staff especially, as far as making our kids look at the sticks. We've used sticks at practice all week and done a lot of ones-on-ones work. with working those situations from red zone to goal line to third downs to first downs, everything that you can do in football. We tried to hit that and then really coach our kids up on that.
Well, Coach, it's interesting you said conditioning. Two games that I've been on the sideline, I have seen just that. I have seen the conditioning in that second half. And I understand where you're coming from, and I was thinking the same thing this week. Guys, you are well conditioned, but let's win the game in the first half and hold on to it in the second.
Right.
So I understand how you put that. Now, let me ask you a question, because I've been talking to coaches this week about what it's called, the Sky Coach. Is that what it's called?
We use the Huddle Echo system.
Huddle Echo. Some call it the Sky Coach.
Right. There's many different.
Right, but it's the same. It's the same technology. Mm-hmm. You can immediately from the booth see on the sideline. And Georgia High School GHSA approved it this year.
Last year.
Was it last year?
Yeah.
How is that technology helping you on the sideline?
It's huge for us. And again, working the 2-platoon system where you have offensive players and defensive players able to come off the sideline, sit right down, and we can immediately, as coaches, scroll back through that iPad. And now, again, we're working those bugs out just as much as we are with our players. So we finally have enough. I didn't have an iPad last week. Our O-line coach did, and then we have one on defensive side of the ball. But now we're going to have the capacity to have 4 on the sideline. We got that all hammered out. And, it's being able to have a kid, and we tell our kids all the time, come off and tell me what you're seeing. How are they playing you? What are they doing? But now being able to go back, and they might tell you one thing, you can scroll through the iPad and say, no, hold on a second. Either you're spot on and I like what you're saying, or hold on, you might have had a guy behind you that you didn't see. It's imperative for the quarterback to be able to look at that and kind of rehash what he just went through and make sure that he's seeing what's actually going on the field. It helps out a bunch, and those game time adjustments that you would normally make on Saturday morning, be able to make in the game.
Guys, usually in an off week, you get that week to work on you. You get the week to work on you, and the second week to work on the team you're going up against. I don't know. Is that basically what you're doing, working on you this week, your team?
We split practice.
I wouldn't say you're not preparing for the other team, but
right.
A lot of times when you have the off week, you get that opportunity to work on you.
Right. We gave the kids a couple days off. This is the first weekend they've had off in a long time, and brought them back in on Tuesday, and we started focusing on us with our game tape from Friday. As bad as it was to watch, we still tried to teach off of it. And then we split up practice. These are our longest 2 practices of the year. We've actually gone over 2 hours in both practices. The first half's been dedicated to Murphy, and the second half of practice has been dedicated to us, ones-on-ones, trying to get better ourselves.
Guys, he said watching the game tape, he said it was tough. Was it tough for you guys watching the game tape and having to see that game played over? What was that like watching that tape again?
It was just seeing all the just dumb mistakes that we had as a team, and just knowing that we were so much better than that.
And you?
I mean, we need to watch it and learn from the mistakes so we can go back on the field and fix them.
How about the team? Because a lot of times, the coaches. I think your coaches are doing a good job. I think they are. I watch them on the sidelines. I think they're doing a good job. I think your defensive coach, his name's Sean, right? I don't want to attempt his last name because I really
Tome.
Yeah, Tome. I'm saying with Sean this week. I have seen him on the field, seen all these guys on the field. I think they're doing a good job. But a lot of times players get together. You guys get together on your own and say, guys, we're better than this. I mean, that's what we say. That's what I say. I look at staff and I say, we're better than this. Is any of that happening between the team and you guys getting together? Are you doing any of that?
Yes,
all the
sir.
time on the sidelines.
I mean, and we do it, and on defense, we've done in the locker room both games, fixing stuff that we know we're doing wrong without our coaching staff there having to tell us. We're fixing that on our own.
So, because we're better than this, right?
Yes, sir.
That's right. How much? We got about 5 minutes left. Coach, in our first segment, the last week against Dawson, offensively, very little stats at all. You said at the you took at the center of the field, you took a lot of that on you. Mm-hmm. Okay. Explain why you did that. I was with you out there with these young men, and you took a lot of that on you, and you talked about preparation, and you talked about you preparing them.
Right.
Did I get that right?
Absolutely.
Okay. What were you thinking out there on that field, and what did you go and adjust yourself
The biggest thing, and I think I mentioned it in the paper, and I told it to the kids on the field Friday night, the biggest thing is, like you said, Brian, we're better than this, and it starts from the top down. It's not going to go from the kids. And when we talk about, it starts with myself, absolutely, but then what I allow to occur in coaches' offices, what I allow to occur in the locker room, that's all on me. It's my program. I'm the one that has the wins and losses as the boss. So we went back and adjusted, and we started with the coaching staff. We came in and met on Monday, and we went back through the film and went back through the breakdowns and the scripts and said, this was good, this was bad, this could have been better. One thing that was really, really lacking for our offense was we are very, very simple in our schemes for the most part. Now, Griff might tell you different, but our plays are very simple. Where we try to beat people is we out-formation them. We try to get an extra guy here, an extra guy there, and we do it so fast that high school kids can't adjust to it as fast as they should. And we didn't have that Friday. It's one of those things where you go back and look through our breakdown. We were very, very base, and that's not what we do. So we started there, looking at ourselves, making sure that we understand what we're trying to get to, preaching that to the kids. And, defensively, I thought they played really, really well. Now, again, you're going to ask Coach Tome and some of the kids on defense, and unless it's perfect, and that's what we tell the kids. We're never going to be perfect, but that's how we coach you. Even if you score a touchdown, if Russell scores a touchdown, there's going to be something within that play that he could have done a little bit better. So, again, starting from the top with myself, rolling it down to my coaches, and then hopefully the coaches take it back to the kids. They always talk about, bad things rolling downhill. That's what I wanted to occur this week.
Before we go to our first break, we're going to wrap up with this. You have week after next, Friday, Murphy. What are you seeing in their film defensively and in your offense that you're making adjustments for? How are they defensively that you're going up against? What are you seeing them in film?
If you talk about multiple, as far as the defense goes, they are multiple. We've seen a couple tapes on them, and they were odd front, they were even front, they were 50 front. They did some different things in the secondary. Historically, they were just one high cover three, which for an offense like ours is great. We can throw the ball around a little bit and have a little fun. And then we got the next film, and they were too high and, playing quarters, playing a little two-man. So this is a great week for us to say, we've got to work on us. If we do our job, it doesn't really matter where they line up, if we execute. So that's the biggest thing. And, again, we worked on Murphy the first half of practice, but then going back and saying, look, it doesn't matter what they do as long as we snap the ball as fast as we can and we execute what we're doing within a bunch of different sets, then we'll be fine. And this week was as much growing time for our coaches as it was for our players.
Mr. Cagle, are you a sophomore?
Junior.
Junior?
Yes,
Junior
sir.
This year? Wide receiver?
Yes, sir.
Now, you were on a team last year?
Yes, sir, I was.
Last year? Are you enjoying wide receiver? Are you enjoying that?
Yes, I am.
And any shout-outs? I heard you guys talking before we started. I mean, did you lose your nerve or what?
No, I still want to.
Well, go ahead, man. We're going to. You're not coming back after this break. Put it out there.
I want to give a shout-out to Hannah Carter.
Okay. All right. I like that. I have no idea what we just did here, but then again, that's part of the show. What about you? Did you freeze up or you didn't have one?
I didn't have one.
You didn't have one?
No, sir.
Okay. We good? We ready? Okay, hey, you've been watching. We thank you for this. Guys, thank you. This show, we say jokingly all the time, we want to bring you players here every Thursday night, talk to you. We enjoy it, and we always invite the coach to come along with you. So that's our little joke here. Hey, Thursday night, we're at Circuit World, and you're watching Bobcats Beyond the Field. We have head coach Zach Grage with us. We're glad to have him here. We want to thank Shane's Rib Shack for providing a meal for the players and the coach. Also, Pepsi for providing drinks. When we come back after this first segment, we're going to bring in Austin Lacy and Nathan Fitzgerald. We're going to talk a lot of defense when we come back. Okay, so we'll be back right after these brief messages.
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
Schottenkirk Ford in Jasper. Highway 515 South, Jasper. SchottenkirkFordJasper.com.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Let it ride during the Lucky 7 sales event at Lifetime Kia. Come try your luck in the Money Machine. Yes, come take a test drive and you get a chance to grab for cash in the Money Machine. Plus, shop big-time savings on every vehicle in stock. And remember, Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. And Lifetime Kia will extend that warranty for as long as you own it. Come try your luck in the Money Machine and experience the savings at Lifetime Kia.
El Rey in Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey in Ellijay.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart.
Only one thing beats a day's price on a new Chevy. It's our pre-owned price. Now at the Days Chevy Jasper Pre-Owned Super Center. Save thousands off original MSRP on the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in the North Georgia mountains. Cars, trucks, SUVs, even luxury vehicles. Many with factory warranty. And all thousands below new car prices. We can even help rebuild your credit. Save thousands today at the Days Chevy Jasper Pre-Owned Super Center. The North Georgia mountains big volume, low price leader.
Better days ahead. Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
I could do it here.
We'll
go somewhere.
And we're back. We're back for our second segment. Yes, it's Thursday night, and we're here at Circuit World in Ellijay, East Ellijay. Excuse me. I want to thank. That's why Pepsi. That's their fault. I want to thank Shane's Rib Shack for providing the meal for our players and coaches tonight. I'm BKP. Also want to thank Pepsi for providing the drinks. You're watching Bobcats Beyond the Field. I have head coach Zach Grage with me here, and we're back in the second segment with Austin, Lacy, and Nathaniel Fitzgerald. Okay, we good, Dave? Everything good? Okay, just checking with my producer. A little intense here, making sure everything's good. Guys, welcome to the show. Glad to have you. Big defensive night. First of all, let me get a couple stats. You had Austin. You had 3 solos, 2 assists, 3 tackles for a loss, and 2 sacks. Okay, nice night. Let me get a couple more defense. Avery Sermons. Now I have to tell you, Coach, he didn't play last year.
No, sir.
He didn't play. I've been watching Avery play baseball for a long time as a catcher. All right, and every time Avery, and I've been watching Avery explain. He always explains things. I love Avery. All right. Yep. I was kindly shocked when I see him on a football field. I come out and I look, is that Avery? And he's tearing it up. He just flat is. Avery Sermons, 5 solos, 1 assist, 2 tackles for a loss, and 2 sacks. And when Avery got the 1 sack, he gave it that. Did you remember that? You see that?
Just a little swagger.
Yeah, he gave it that. I loved everything about it. I was on the sideline. He gave it that. Guys, defense is really going great. But I have a question for you. All right, you're a veteran. I know you're a junior, but you've been there for a while. You guys in 2 games have really come out in the second half and just shut it down. I think in 2 games in a row, this game here, second half, you gave up 1 touchdown. Okay, same thing, first game, a touchdown. You shut it down. What do you have to do?
The second half of this game, they gave up nothing.
Offense.
The 1 touchdown was ours.
Apologize. Okay, you're right. I apologize. Okay. Anyhow, you shut it down. But what I'm getting to is, how are you working to apply that to the first half? Now, the defense is doing great in the first half, but that is what you know what I'm talking about. Tell me a little bit about what you guys are doing to apply that to the first half.
We're trying to get that mentality that we're a second half team, which we still will be, but we're trying to take that mentality into going into the first half.
Because I mean, last week you guys gave up 105 rushing yards, and you gave up, and I don't want to speak for Sean, our defensive coordinator. You gave up 253 passing yards. So what's the adjustments on defense this week for next week to kind of bring the passing yards down? Rushing yards, you gave up 105. They're not getting past your front line, so congratulations, guys. What about the passing yards?
I think they're putting in a couple new coverages, and they're doing drills, individual drills to do man and all that.
One of the big things, too, that Sean always talks about is the yards after catch, and we just got to cut down on those. You know, one of their touchdowns they had was off just a little missile screen, and one of their players actually outran Thaddeus Bowers to the end zone. And if you ever would have said that somebody's going to outrun Thaddeus, especially without another purple jersey on in Cartersville, then I would have said you were a liar. So cutting down the yards after catch, trying to make that first man be the tackler and then swarming to the ball, and that's going to cut down a lot of those passing yards. We haven't given up a lot of deep bombs. It's just been a lot of short passes that they're just skirting through the defense, and that's where we're trying to cut down on that.
What's your position?
Right tackle.
Right tackle. You were Offensive Player of the Week this week, right?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations. On right tackle, what did you guys see offensively in film that you're preparing for on Murphy? What are you guys doing what are you seeing that you got to prepare for this next game coming up?
Like stacks and deuces, double teams.
And have you watched a lot of film on Murphy?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask both of you. I know you're on the defense. You guys having a good defensive year, but you're a team. We went out of the first segment. Let's talk about you watching that film from the last game. What was that like? I mean, you didn't like it, but what was it like watching that film?
We were trying to find out where our weak spots were and fix them when we got on the field.
And what about you?
The O-line was finding, we weren't going to the right backers or not getting our head in front and small things.
Opening up holes and things like that?
Yes, sir.
Coach, the defense, I've talked about that, the conditioning, offensively on the front line, is there any certain adjustments that you guys see you need to make? And you do get another running back this week that was not there last week. Is that or next week?
As far as Greg?
Yeah.
Greg Engler, he's a tight end. He'll be
a
back
tight
for
end.
us.
He'll be back.
Absolutely.
At the Murphy game.
Yes, sir.
In the quarterback position, I got to ask, what are you looking at in the quarterback position as you look at the offense from the other night? What are you looking at? Is there adjustments you need to make? He's a fine young man, but, looking at film and stuff, do you see adjustments you guys got to make there?
Right now, Tyler did a great job. He started off the game 6 for 7. I mean, it's one of those things where he started off hot, and then we got in a situation where there was pressure, and some of that does fall on the quarterback as far as getting the ball out of your hand quickly. But, a lot of that falls back on, like Nathan hit on, small things with the offensive line that just, head placement, hand placement, doing things like not pass setting. And it's all stuff that when we watch tape and we say, were you ever coached to do it this way? No. Well, why are we doing it? And then we're doing it repeatedly. And that's where it kind of falls back on us, that if we have the iPads and we have the technology available to make the in-game adjustment, then we need to make the in-game adjustment and not wait until later and say, man, we screwed that one up. So as far as the quarterback position in itself, I had a very wise man actually call me today and say, the head coach and the quarterback are two guys that always get too much credit and always get too much blame. And it's I'll take all the blame that I can get, and I'll try and disperse any credit that does come my way. And the quarterback's the same way. Tyler, we don't ask him to do a whole lot. He's a game manager. We ran into a situation where we're having to find another quarterback this week because Tyler has a broken hand. Just had surgery this morning, and we got the call a little bit ago that everything went well. So he's out at least 4 weeks. And we're looking at our backup as a freshman, David Smith. And he is a gunslinger. I mean, he's a Brett Favre type mentality that he's going to go out there and he's going to do some things that are freshman boneheaded things, but he's also going to win you some ball games with his feet. And then, you always got Thaddeus Bowers that you're able to put back there. And we really have to scale down the offense with Thaddeus just because he hasn't had the time to learn everything. But he does know a lot of it playing almost every receiver position on the field and a little bit of running back. Makes us more dynamic. Your best skill players touching the ball every snap. That makes it nice. But then you take them off the perimeter, and that changes the dynamic of the offense. So that's been another focus this week, is trying to find who's going to replace Tyler until he's able to come back.
Austin, let me go back to you, because in the first segment, Coach said new about 3 times. You're on the sideline. I'm watching you over there. Talk about the new scheme this year. Talk about something that I personally enjoy, but I want to hear from you, because I see you guys come off the field and you get in the chairs, and Sean's over there. He's got the whiteboard, and he's intense, and he's stressed out, and he's scribbling all over the whiteboard, and he's pointing to you and everything. But that's new this year, right?
Yes, sir.
What's that like? Talk about that.
I like it because when you get the iPads and you can see what you're doing wrong, you can fix it for the next series and not make the same mistakes over and over until you're done and you have to fix it Saturday. But on the sidelines, when you see it, you realize that I need to fix it, and if you don't, then they're going to find a weak spot and run it right there.
What about you on the offense? You guys are coming over off the field. Same question for you. It is different this year, where you're running an offense, running a defense, and you guys are coming off the field and you're getting right into chairs and getting coached immediately on those last plays. What's that like?
It's good because you know what to do when somebody walks up or blitzes in a different gap than you thought.
You can see that you only get 3 plays in and you can make adjustments. I mean, you can come down 3 plays in and you can make adjustments that you could not do in the past.
Right.
And you can prepare. You can have your offense try to run against their defense all day, but you just can't simulate it on the field in practices. But you can do it in 3 plays with the, what did you call? I call it Sky Coach.
Ours is, there's a bunch of different replays. Ours is the Echo 1612. It's some offshoot of Huddle, who does all the video technology now.
And that's that. What is the TV in the center? Is that it? What's the TV we see in the center that set up the monitor? What is that?
We do have a TV that has since been taken away or just gotten off the sideline, because we can do most of our stuff through the iPads. But all we'd use the TV for is, like Sean for defenses, he just has the one iPad for himself. Then he would hook the iPad up to the TV and just give him a bigger screen. Nothing changes as far as, it's just feeding the small iPad. Yeah, nothing changes as far as what they're seeing.
What they're seeing, okay. Going to Murphy in 2 weeks. You played Murphy last year. You used to play in Murphy. You know them, okay? What are you seeing in film? What are you seeing in film this week? For Murphy next week when you go over there?
They're really similar to what they were last year. Their offensive line is about the same size as Dawson, and they're quick like Dawson. So we're going to really have to step it up in the first half and not be a second half team.
You're going to have to come out of the gate.
Yes.
Come out of the gate. You're watching film on Murphy. What do you guys see on the offensive side as far as the defense? Coach said earlier they're coming several different ways on defense. What are you guys looking at on film that you got to adjust to?
Like how fast they come off the ball and the stacks, all that.
Well, Coach, we're going to be wrapping up here. What do we got? 1 minute? We're there? Okay, we're through for the night. Any final thoughts for the fans or anybody at home or me?
Just appreciate the support and appreciate you. Appreciate y'all doing this, and of course Circuit World and Shane's Rib Shack, of course, with all the support and the sponsorships. Keep it coming.
Coach, I want to say something before we leave. A lot of guys have been on the sideline for 20 years. A lot of guys have been on the sideline for 10 or 12. I don't have that. I haven't missed a snap in 5 years. Playoff games, away games, I've been there for every single snap for 5 years, and I'm enjoying it. I'm buying into the program. I've had to learn where to be on the field. so I had to adjust too, but I'm enjoying it. I've been there for 5 years, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying watching these guys getting coached the way they are on the sideline. And, hey, guys, region play at 0-0. So we get to region play at 0-0, right?
Yes, sir.
Right? So we work on things. We're there, right? Glad to have you. It's always an honor to get to sit down with you guys. It's a joy to have you guys every Thursday night. Thanks, Coach. I'm BKP. You've been watching on Thursday nights here from Circuit World in East Ellijay. Bobcats Beyond the Field. We thank Shane's Rib Shack for providing the meal for our players and coach. We thank Pepsi for providing the drinks. We've had the opportunity to sit down here with head coach Zach Grage, Austin Lacy, Nathan Fitzgerald, Ryan Crump, Griffin Cagle. We appreciate them coming in and sitting down with us tonight. Now, don't forget, I just want to say this, Team FYN Sports is always dedicated to highlighting and promoting these young athletes in a positive way. We're going to be back next Thursday night. We're off. No, not next Thursday night. We will not be here next week because we have an off week, but Friday after next, Bobcats are traveling over to Murphy to take on the Murphy Bulldogs. They'll be going over to North Carolina, crossing the state line. And so right after that, we'll be back the following Thursday night. And again, we'll have this up on the internet in just about 30 minutes if you missed tonight or you want to tell your friends to watch. I'm BKP. We're out of here, Dave. Wrap it up.